on the gridiron or courtside, you know what time it is. It's
Sports plus life. Sports plus life.
ringside or front court or field pass, we ballin' no. Knuckle up or buckle up, I tell it like it is when I'm on my show. Home run, slam dunk, knockout, or got some dough.
Sports plus life.
Yeah.
Sports plus life.
Yo, 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 yo! What's up? What's really good? It's your boy Brandon Brevon Towns, host of that show called Sports Plus Life. You feel me? All feels good outside. Y'all already know what's going down today, bruh. So guess what? Turn it off, turn it off, turn it all the way off. Now cut. Yeah. How's everybody doing today? Again, please allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Brandon Brevon Towns, and this here is Sports Plus Life, that there sports podcast where we talk about all of the necessary topics in sports and all of the necessary topics in life. How is everybody doing? Well, we have gotten a taste of that spring life over the last couple of days here in Richmond, VA. I mean, it was like 80 degrees yesterday. It's 80 degrees today. Well, they say 75. Whatever. It's shorts weather. Don't matter. It's shorts weather. It's shorts weather. Don't matter. You know, it is what it is. But anyway, before I go any further, you know, I got to send out my love. I got to show my love, love bombs, black and gold love bombs, in general love bombs. I hope everybody is doing well, feeling well, and I hope everybody has a great and blessed week. Shout outs to everybody. Again, special shout out to my bro. You know, he's been on the show the last couple of weeks, Mr. Sean M.F. in Vance, because, you know, that's y'all already know how we roll. That's my dog. Had my baby girl, you know, because my daughter and his daughter birthday are a day apart. And they were just having, and happy birthday to his mom too. Happy birthday to Mama Dawn, the Dawninator. I love you, Mom. And just had to run out to Sean's house to pick up London, and it was the first time that I had been to his crib, and I'm so proud of him, you know, so proud of him, Trish, you know, and this beautiful spot, and we had a good time yesterday. As you saw, we posted the picture. You know, he out there, so he out there, so no, I ain't driving my truck, no. Mommy and Daddy had to go get London, because Daddy won't drive in that truck out there, but well, that's all right, because I'll make sure I head out there a little bit more, because he live in a nice, beautiful area. It's about 30 minutes away from me. Like, damn, bro. But no, it's beautiful, and we had a great time. Wonderful. And like I said, we posted a picture, and you know, I when I was talking to him last night when I got home, you know, because I was just thanking him again for, you know, showing my daughter the good time, and we had a good time. We was like, yeah, people talking stuff about we getting old on the picture. But I said, bro, that's what we did back in the day. When we and still to this day, we make people happy. That's what we did. So you know, certain things with people, when you see certain things, no matter what it is, certain things that you see will bring a smile to your face, no matter what it is. I mean, you know, you could just, if you're on social media, if you're on television, whatever, if you're messing around on your phone and you see a picture of something or somebody, it's something that's just gonna bring a smile to your face, and that's what we did. That's what we did. Anybody that knows us, we made people happy. We would bring in. So when I told him, I said, when people see a picture of us, you know, just chilling, you know, even after all these years, you know, that makes people happy. That's gonna make people smile, you know, because that's what we did. You know, we were goofy as hell, talented as hell, still, you know, to this day, and we still make people happy. So it is what it is. But again, I hope everybody is doing well. Now, I've been watching I started watching the show Bel-Air. Like the show. I do. I really like the show. It's a darker version of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air that I grew up on, that we grew up on as kids. And it's an R-rated version as well. So, you know, I watch these shows because, like I said, I watch Bel-Air, I watch All American, and, you know, of course, Snowfall is my shit. Of course, you know, Power is my shit. But I say that about Bel-Air and All American in particular. I'm like, yo, is this how it really is with these rich ass kids who live out in the ritzy suburbs, these high 6 or 7 figure kids. Is this how it really is? The way these teenagers act? I'm talking about the drugs, man. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, the common denominator is these drugs. Now, I was training one of my boys who came on to work with us, and he's about 23 years old. Used to watch him back in the day when he was a kid, Monte, and we were talking about the show. And I was, I was saying to him, I was like, yo, these rich kid teenagers, I was like, do they really be getting down like that with the lines and all of that stuff? And he was like, oh, man, look, when I was in high school, you'd be surprised how many of the star football players, blazed up smoking weed. I said, I don't know. I said, I don't give a fuck about the weed. I don't care about the weed. I'm talking about the promethazines, the cocaine, the stuff, that'll get you out your mind. Like I see with Carlton on Bel Air, and he's such a bitch. I'm sorry. The character Carlton on this version on the show Bel Air is a punk. I be wanting to reach through the TV and beat his privileged frog-looking bitch ass. All right, I'm serious. But I was serious about what I said. Like, is it really like this with these rich kids and these rich kid parties? Because like I hadn't just seen it on Bel Air. I seen it on All American, a couple other shows too. When it comes to privileged teenagers, I like, damn, I don't want my kids to be around those super rich kids when they get to be teenagers, if that's the case. And people don't realize. And then once the parents find out that this is the type of stuff that their children are into, then they act all shocked. Oh my God. I've never. I mean, people wonder why so many rich kids have such problems. And us as outsiders, because Lord knows I don't have no rich kids. I wasn't a rich kid growing up. But as outsiders, we look at, hey, man, you got that, y'all got all that money. How can they have problems? But as being an adult and working with kids for a long time, what I've realized is that parents with money think that just because they keep their children drowned in activities, that's going to keep them on the straight and narrow. No, and that's not the case. That's not the case. You see, the problem with people who are in financially privileged positions is that they are so tied up with their career, and it's not, and I'm not saying that to point the finger at any parents like that. No, I'm not doing that. But they have so much going on out in their business life that it swoops in and takes a toll on their personal life. That, okay, let's play a little game here. Hey, rich mom or rich dad, how you doing? I'm doing quite well. I mean, you realize your kid is in trouble for X, Y, and Z. They have little issues that could actually end them up in jail or kicked out of school or kicked out of whatever club and whatever. Well, no. First of all, that is not my child. No, I keep my child involved in numerous activities. I pay a lot of money to make sure I put my child in numerous activities. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. That's, I guess that's good for you. So how much time are you, the parent, actually spending with the child, now said teenager? Just out of curiosity, how much time are you actually spending with them? Well, like I said, I have a very lucrative career, and it requires a lot of time for me, but that's why I keep my child involved in, a certain amount of activities to make sure that they have something to do with themselves. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you're not, again, answering the question. How much time do y'all see where I'm going here with this? Y'all see where I'm going here with this? And the question is, well, why would they do such a thing? Well, you can't totally answer that question why. But I guarantee you, I can guarantee you that this happens most of the time. Like I said, children who are swallowed up in activities, who are in very financial privileged positions, they run into other kids who are in very financial privileged positions whose parents also drown them in activities, but have gotten into the wrong activity. And guess what? A lot of those kids that find themselves in that situation, they're going to take your kid down with them, because and a lot of it is an attention thing. But sometimes kids get sucked in so deep that, but by the time that the parents find out, you have to do some, I'm not going to say it's too late, but you have to do some serious repairs, and it only comes with being involved in your children's life. Because I be seeing this stuff, and I understand that they TV shows, but a lot of that stuff can be reality. Like, we have to stay involved personally in what our children are doing, personally. And some parents this is just my opinion, should be a little more strict. Yeah, I'm from a different parenting culture, okay? I don't do this whole now I do, of course, I want to know my children's opinion and how they feel, but in certain situations, depending on what the situation is, I'm going to make the decision for them. And not leave that up to them. And see, that to me is an issue, how too many parents are just, let their kids make the choice to do anything. That's why they're the kids, and that's why we the goddamn parents, because we're supposed to know what's best. See, a child thinks they know what's best for them in that moment of a childhood mind. Okay, that's when adults are supposed to step in and say, you know what, let me stir you in a different direction that is going to be, that was going to be more beneficial, or stir you to a direction that's going to keep you out of trouble, because I'm not playing them games. I'm not playing those games when it comes to these recreational drug usage by teenagers, dog. Like, I'm glad that when I was a teenager, I wasn't no financially privileged teenager, because I didn't do none of that shit. Like, me and Sean and David and Dwayne, God rest my cousin's soul, and Sterling, we didn't do none of that stuff. We didn't do, I don't know though. God rest soul, Dwayne was a little wild. I miss you so much, cousin. But I mean, what I'm trying to say is, like, we didn't engage in alcohol. We didn't do none of that stuff. Like, we were goofballs. Lord knows, me and Sean and Sterling and Dave, we were goofballs. Brandon, George, we didn't engage in none of that stuff. We just didn't. So when I see that, I'm like, my ignorance. People really do get down like this. Because I started seeing stuff like that once I graduated from Holland Springs. And I was like, I never found myself around. And I guess because we would go out, we would hit the movies up, we would hit downtown up, but we would never get involved in anything that would potentially, inebriate us, or that could lead us into any type of trouble. Like I said, we were goofy little butt heads. We were, no, I don't mean butt heads, but we were goofy, singing, acting, looking at girls and be like, yo, would you get on? Yeah, I would get on. Stuff like that. That's what we would do. That's what we would do. I mean, class clowns, real talk. But I look at this stuff today. Hell no, bruh. Hell no. I don't think so. Like, I'm sorry. I'm going to be involved in everything that my kids do when they become teenagers. And I understand that at time, teenagers, that's why it's important to salvage a strong bond between kids and parents, because there will come a time as teenagers where the kids don't want to be around you for whatever reason, because we view life in a totally different way as a teenager. Things that really in adulthood is not important at all, we think that is our whole world. It really is. And sometimes they think that like the Fresh Prince songs, parents just don't understand. I'm, always going to make it my business to understand. I am, because you have to have a great bond with your children, or you're going to be finding it hard as hell to salvage a relationship. And that's to my broke ass parents. That's to my rich ass parents. It don't matter. It don't matter. The difference between a broke ass parent and a rich ass parent is that the rich ass parent will pay a lot of money to keep them occupied just so they don't have to deal with them. A broke ass parent will just say, get the hell out my face. Go upstairs. That's the difference. That is the only difference, because if a parent don't feel like dealing with their kid, they will find ways to not deal with their kids. Broke or rich, don't really matter. I mean, for real. And that's just real talk. A rich parent will keep their kids involved in activities, so that looks good to Joe Public, basically paying somebody else to keep them occupied. And again, a broke parent will be like, go do something, find something to do with yourself. But anyway, we have to stay involved in our children's lives. But anyway, without further ado, my people, now that I done gone on my life rant, I guess, let's get to it. The NBA, once again, as I said last week, has taken front and center. And you heard the complaining that I was doing about, oh man, football is over, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to tell you, this is actually one of my favorite times of the year, because not only is the NBA taking center stage, but college basketball this weekend is conference championship week, conference tournament week. So yes, definitely a lot of excitement going on. I mean, goodness gracious, we got the Big East that's starting up, ACC. This is conference tournament week, and then on Saturday we rocking the block plus my nephew birthday. So dog, I'm talking about busy week. But as far as the NBA goes, I'm gonna keep it simple, because this is
Bye, bitch.
I like I said, I'm not as invested in the NBA as I used to be, and I'm trying to, because I am a sports guy. But I mean, all the injuries and players sitting out and whatnot, it's hard. There is no Goliath team. Throughout NBA seasons in times past, we would always say, okay, well, you're going to end up seeing this team against that team. It's hard to say that this season, because there are a bunch of teams that are not who we thought they were going to be, like the Brooklyn Nets and the Los Angeles Lakers. Remember, at the beginning of the season, it was a foregone conclusion that it was going to be the Brooklyn Nets versus the Los Angeles Lakers, because you had your big three in Brooklyn with KD, Kyrie, and James Harden. And then you had the Lakers with LeBron, AD, and you just added Russell Westbrook. Plus, they added everybody from the 2K12, 2K13 All-Star team. And it has been, and I'm really surprised. I'm not surprised at the Lakers, because the Lakers were an old team. Even though props to LeBron for dropping 56 points, but I'm not going to spin the narrative like so many people on these talking shows do. They spin the narrative. This was the Lakers' first victory since the All-Star break. They went over Golden State on Saturday. Golden State is struggling. They are reeling right now. They need Draymond to come back. So I'm not going to celebrate and throw a party. Yes, Bron played a great game. 56 points. Amazing game, especially age 37, year 19. But I'm not spinning the narrative saying, oh, well, maybe the Lakers can turn around. When AD comes back, we've seen LeBron with AD this season. They are a bad basketball team this year. I mean, for real. They are a bad team. AD, Bron, the Russ, not a good fit. So when AD comes back, it's pretty much going to be much of the same. LeBron will probably just be doing less scoring. But I don't believe the end result is going to change. This team has shown you who they are throughout the entire season. They are 7 games under 500, and I'm not pumping the pom-poms because we beat a struggling Golden State team. LeBron had a great game. Yes, he did. But the Lakers have vastly disappointed all season long. I'm not doing that shit that people be doing with the Dallas Cowboys, not even trying to be funny. When they win one game, hey, could they turn around? No, bro, the Lakers have shown you, and I'm a diehard Laker fan, so I hate saying this. But the Lakers I am objective, but the Lakers have shown you who the hell they are this entire season. Tony was right on the money, said these young boys are going to run them out of the gym, run them old legs out of the gym. That's what has happened. But again, Bron had a great game. As far as the Brooklyn Nets goes, James Harden's out of there. He's in Philly. Watch out for Philly. Philly look like they doing something special right now. But Brooklyn, oh my goodness, like Brooklyn, there was a point where Brooklyn was number one in the East. Lakers won't never number one in the West. Maybe when the season started and everybody's record was 0-0. But Brooklyn at one point was number one in the East, and now they have plummeted all the way to the 9th spot, which means they're in play-in tourney mode. I understand Kevin Durant is just getting back, and we understand what's happening with what's been happening all season with Kyrie and the mandate, and I don't. Now, Kyrie could have taken a vaccination like I think all athletes have done, but he's been consistent and honest, so I won't hold that against him. We all know, third straight week in a row, I'm going to say, hey, state of New York, you're a jackass. That mandate is stupid, particularly because visiting players can come play in New York, whether they're vaccinated or not, but you will not allow teams that play for Brooklyn or the Knicks, if they're not vaccinated, to play. We understand that. Ben Simmons. You trade and you get Ben Simmons, and on paper, if you have it on paper, it looks great. But Ben Simmons may be the weakest, the weakest, frailest, most thin-skinned athlete in the history of the NBA. Niggas talk about how thin-skinned Kevin Durant is. No, they don't have nothing on Ben Simmons. Because now Ben Simmons has issues. They're gonna create new issues because he doesn't want to play in the game this week against Philadelphia. He ain't gonna come out publicly and say it, but it's clear he does not want to come to Philadelphia and play. The whole mental health thing. I know what it's like to have mental health issues because I've had to deal with that. I've had to deal with that periodically in my life. I understand. Trust me, there is nobody more sympathetic to people with mental health issues than me because I understand. But there's a difference between having mental issues and being mentally weak. Those are two totally different things. I'm gonna say this again. Ben Simmons is coming across as a weak ass bitch. I'm sorry. Like the 3 6 Mafia song. When I say weak ass, you say bitch. Weak ass bitch. Weak ass bitch. I mean, because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And like I said, he lied. He contradicted himself in his first interview as soon as he was traded to Brooklyn. There was at first when the season started, I'm dealing with mental health issues. I don't want to, so he wouldn't have to play with Philadelphia, but he could still get paid. And as soon as he got interviewed, he says, "Oh, mental health was never really the issue." Really? Again, Brooklyn is reeling right now. If you think Ben Simmons is your savior, you just have to get. I just honestly, as a basketball fan, and this is what really annoys me about the NBA today. As a basketball fan, I just want to see these guys on the floor. I just want to see them on the floor playing basketball. I would like to see what Brooklyn is going to look like with KD, with Kyrie, with Ben Simmons now, with all of those snipers, with Curry, with Patty Mills. Joe Harris is out for the season. We get all that. But now you have defensive prowess with Drummond. You can rebound the ball with Drummond and Blake Griffin. I would like to see that. You still have Aldridge. I would like to see the finished product. But you can never get them on the floor, and that's so frustrating. And I hate to be the back in my day guy, but when I was a kid growing up, the stars played. You never had to worry about the stars missing games.
You niggas are crazy!
These weak-ass motherfucking NBA players want to make way more and play way less. It's just ridiculous to me, bro. So, again, when the season first started, it was a foregone conclusion. Lakers versus Nets in the NBA Finals. Shit. It might be Lakers versus Nets to see who get the first pick in the draft. I'm just playing. I'm just playing because I believe the Nets. I think the Nets. I don't even think the Nets are gonna even have to really deal. Well, well, you know what? I may be wrong. The Nets may have to deal with the play-in tournament. Damn. Well, let's look at the standings now in the NBA. Right now, we have number 1, the Miami Heat. Miami, number 1. Philadelphia, since getting that trade for James Harden, again, look out. You can never discount the reigning defending champions, the Milwaukee Bucks, the team who I think is going to come out of the East again. The Chicago Bulls were number 1 just about a week ago, but now they've dropped to number 4. The Boston Celtics, remember about 2 months ago, everybody was shitting on the Boston Celtics. They were like, what the hell is going on? Do you need to trade either Tatum or Jaylen Brown? Well, they ain't trading Tatum. But they're like, do you need to trade somebody? Jaylen Brown or Marcus Smart? But and the coach, Udoka, what is he doing? They've gotten their act together. They're 5th. The Cleveland Cavaliers, again, they are such a great story. They are the 6th seed. And then 7 through 10, which is playing mode, which I don't like personally. But you have Toronto at 34 and 30, Charlotte and Brooklyn tied for 8th and 9th at 32 and 33, and the Atlanta Hawks, who has been one of those teams, along with the New York Knicks, who have been a big disappointment this season, but they are 31 and 32. In the Western Conference, even without Chris Paul, the Suns haven't been winning, but everybody else in the West has been losing. How about that? So the Suns still have a very comfortable 8-game lead in number 1 record in the West and the NBA, 51 and 13. The Golden State Warriors are struggling right now, but they're still the number 2 seed, 43 and 21. The Memphis Grizzlies, watch out for Ja Morant and those boys. Them boys is coming. 44 and 22. Utah Jazz trying to steady their ship. They went through a little struggling period. 40 and 23. The Dallas Mavericks, since they traded Kristaps Porzingis, they've been playing some good ball. Luka has been on a tear. They are number 5 seed at 39 and 25. The Denver Nuggets are 38 and 26. A team that has a very young, strong nucleus is now we get into play-in tourney mode. 7 seed Minnesota Timberwolves. They have a very strong young nucleus, and if they're steered in the right direction, could be very dangerous. Very dangerous. I'm talking about Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, D'Angelo Russell. They are the 7th seed right now, 36 and 29. To me, the surprise is the Los Angeles Clippers, because even though the Knicks housed them last night, they're 34 and 32, but they're doing all this, and this is why Ty Lue is such a great coach. Imagine what this team is going to be when they get Kawhi Leonard and Paul George back. And it's not going to be this season, unfortunately. The Clippers are going to fight and scratch and claw their way to whatever playoff position they get. But next season, they're going to be one of the favorites. They're going to be one of the favorites to come out of the West. And then, of course, you got the Lakers at 28 and 35. It's a damn joke. And the New Orleans Pelicans, 27 and 37. I'm not trying to be funny. I mean, the 9th and the 10th seed don't deserve no damn play-in tournament, bro. Like, I'm serious. I'm not just saying that about the Lakers. I'm saying that in the Eastern Conference, too. But the 9th and the 10th seed, which is in the East, is the Nets and the Hawks, look so much better than the 9th and 10th seed in the West, which is the Lakers and Pelicans. That's a joke to me. I'm just being real. That is a effing joke to me. But of course, all of that stuff is done for money. That stuff is done for money. We know this, okay? But look, I like to do funny, silly stuff from time to time on here. And speaking of, playing, because one of those teams I named in the Eastern Conference was the Charlotte Hornets. No, actually, yeah, the Charlotte Hornets. They're the current 8th seed. I know I'm late on this. This happened early in the season. But if you want to hear commentators going nuts, and probably a lot of it for attention, peep this out. Charlotte Hornets Broadcasting Network.
Leading by 5. Loose. Picked up by Plumlee. Here comes Rozier. He's got Miles. Oh! Yowza! Hum diddly dee!
I'm sorry. What it was, of course, you can't see it, but it was an alley-oop dunk pass from Terry Rozier to Miles Bridges, but not just the yowza, but the hum diddly dee.
Hum diddly dee!
And if you think that I'm not going to be using that as some background noise, not to mention that that blood-curdling, excited scream that he did at first. I'm sorry. If you see the dunk, it's an okay dunk, but you would have thought that was the greatest dunk in NBA history. You'd have thought that was the greatest yam ever, bro. I'm telling you, because he was just... oh, man, I'm sorry. I caught wind of that. I said, bruh, I have got to share this with my podcast audience. I really do. Oh, my goodness, I do. Well, before I get on the phone with people, I do want to talk about some NCAA. Do some NCAA basketball talk.
Hum diddly dee!
Oh, diddly dee. Oh, stop. Let me pull this. Oh, shit. Whoa. I'm just seeing this on my phone. Breaking news. The NFL has banned wide receiver Calvin Ridley for the 2022 season for betting on games. Whoa. I'm so serious. I am just getting this. Wow. The Atlanta Falcons have suspended wide receiver Calvin Ridley for at least the 2022 season for betting on NFL games during the 2021 season. The league said Ridley's betting took place during a 5-day period in November of 2021 when he was not with the team while on the non-football illness list. Okay, I don't need to read no more of that. All right, so basically you have a wide receiver who, because of the quote-unquote mental health reasons, took himself out of the season for the Atlanta Falcons. Now, this was their number one receiver. He's the reason why they felt confident enough that they could let go of Julio Jones, because you would say, hey, we got Calvin Ridley, and he is the heir apparent. So he goes on a mental sabbatical and then gets caught betting on football games. Now, I don't know what the problem with that is. Because when I first saw it, I'm thinking, whoa, was he betting on games that he was playing in? So I don't know. I don't know. I have to sit and process some thoughts on that one. I do. Because that's weird. Because like I said, initially, and I just saw it, literally, just saw it a few minutes, just a couple seconds ago, and I'm thinking, wow, is he betting on games that he's participating in? We have a Pete Rose situation or something like that going on here, or a Tim Donahue situation going on right here. So like I said, I don't know how to process that, especially if he was out on the non-football quote-unquote illness list. The modern day athlete is weak as fuck. Sorry, but okay. I'm sure more news will break onto that story later. But again, we almost at tournament time, baby, on an NCAA college basketball. You know I love my March Madness now. I love my Marches Madness. And right now, the main thing that everybody was talking about, coming into this past weekend was Coach K's final game at Duke, playing against North Carolina. And you know what? And I just like to say congratulations to Coach K on a wonderful, wonderful coaching career. 41 years at Duke, that is sensational. But I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a Duke fan. Never have been a Duke fan. Never been invested in Coach K because I hate Duke. I've never rooted for them under any circumstance. I don't like them now. Didn't like them then. Won't like them in the future. Again, I'm being so sincere when I say congratulations, Coach K, on an incredible career. But none of that stuff moved me. And then plus the fact that you lost to North Carolina on the final home game was actually pretty special to me. My Uncle Tuck texted me and said, I'm calling the massive upset. And damn it, Unc, you hit the nail on the forehead with that one. Boy, you called that one. So, it is what it is. All his former Duke players coming on, I'm upset, can't believe we lost the game. That's what makes it so special to me. I'm going to be honest with you. Not poo-pooing on Coach K's, career or anything like that, because that's absolutely amazing. I remember back in around 04-05, they were trying to get Coach K to be coach of the Lakers. But no, he stayed consistent. He did what I wish Shaka Smart would have done with VCU, as far as just staying there and building your own legacy. But Duke was ranked number 4 at the time. Let's look at these rankings now. Let's see. Number 1, we have Gonzaga, the Bulldogs. They're 24-3. Number 2, Arizona. Watch out for them. 28-3. The reigning national champion, Baylor Bears. They have climbed back up to number 3. They're 26-5. Auburn, number 4 at 27-4. Number 5 is Kentucky at 25-6. Kansas is at number 6 with the same record, 25-6. Duke falls to number 7 at 26-5. Villanova is 23-7. Tennessee is 23-7. And Purdue, the Boilermakers, are 25-6. That is numbers 1 through 10. I will give you guys the rest of the top 25, but I'm not going to add records with it. 11 is Providence. 12 is Wisconsin. 13 is UCLA, UCLA. I'm just being silly. Number 14 is Texas Tech. 15 is Arkansas. 16 Illinois. 17 SMC, Southern Methodist Christian for those. 18 is Houston. 19 is Murray State, John Morant. 20 is UConn. 21 is USC. 22 is Texas. 23 is CSU, Colorado State. 24 is Iowa, and 25 is North Carolina. Them Tar Heels got back into the top 25 with their win at Duke. Let me tell you something. Selection Sunday is this Sunday coming up. That is one of my favorite days of the year, as you hear the NCAA theme music coming up, because I'm telling you, I love the March Madness tournament. One of the things that I hated the most about this damn pandemic that happened in 2020 is that it canceled the damn 2020 NCAA college basketball tournament, thus preventing my Virginia Cavaliers from repeating on the court. Now, they remain the national champions from a technicality, but it is what it is. And like I said, I might complain about the NFL and this, that, and the third, or complain about the NFL being over with, if you will. But when it comes to March Madness, it is March Gladness over here. When the selection show, I'm in front with a plate of some food or some chips or some dip or something that is tailgate worthy when Selection Sunday comes on. And yes, that will be on Sunday. I can't wait. Cut the music. Yes, good times is coming, baby. Oh, and we ain't heard from him. We ain't heard from him in a couple weeks, but he's back. What up, Tony?
I'm back. I was never gone, but I'm back.
Never gone, but he back like he back for the first time, like the Ludacris album. But anyway, how you been, bro?
I've been all right.
You been good? Okay, well, football is over now. Let's get
Is it though?
Huh?
Is it though?
On the field play.
With Schefter and all the talking heads, this is really their time of the year.
Well, they're loving the content that they're getting from somebody like Aaron Rodgers. Like, I'm not paying the Aaron Rodgers thing much attention because, for one, he's acting like he's a quarterback who's accomplished something. I mean, look, MVPs, yes, but he's acting like he's the quarterback of a team that participated in the Super Bowl the last couple years, and that's not the case. So I'm really not paying him no attention. It's Brett Favre all over again.
For the dummies that will say certain things and not break it down and actually think about why this would be the case, I'm gonna say this, and then we can shift to whatever. Releasing Amari Cooper, money versus production, but the biggest thing that no one is considering in their calculations as to maybe releasing Amari Cooper, and in terms of trades, I mean, there's still a murmur that there may be a trade or two out there, but in terms of just outright releasing them, Jerry was soured on Amari Cooper over them games. Just like I don't expect Keanu O'Neal to be back. Those games you're missing because you won't, the vaccination. If you got vaccinated, you're still caught like everybody else, then, hey, you can't say nothing. You know what I mean? But the anti-vax status is a whole thing. It's a whole thing. And so, I think that plays a part. I think that plays a part.
Well, the only thing I will say to that is that just a couple of days ago, the NFL decided to do away with all COVID mandates. So that wouldn't affect him this season coming up.
No, it wouldn't, but that is kind of what made Jerry. Jerry loved him prior to that. He wasn't necessarily like on the soapbox singing his praises like other people, but he was okay with him. It's just the ambivalence about missing those two games. And Amari Cooper, he's another Kawhi Leonard type dude. When you look at Kawhi, you don't know what's going through that nigga's head because he's emotionless. Just like I say, yeah, he'll say the right things when you interview him. If you're able to interview him, he'll say the right things. But from an emotional standpoint, he's just not there. He shows no emotion, but the difference between them two dudes, to the extent when Kawhi is healthy and there is a playoff game, a big game, Kawhi shows up and plays.
Oh, every time. You can make an argument that he's the best player in basketball when he shows up and shows out.
Right. Amari Cooper never seems to have that. He got all the tools, but he just never seems to have that in them big game moments.
He don't have that dog in him.
And he'll just let people take him out of the game when you know he's better than that. You know he's better than that. This is a place you can't do that in Dallas. This is a place where wide receivers, Michael Irvin set the table, really. And it was maybe happening with Calvin Hill and Pearson back in the day, where them dudes was demanding the ball. Give me the ball. I've never seen that out of Amari Cooper. Never seen him going back to the huddle mad, like, yo, throw me the ball, I'm open. You don't see that fire.
The T.O. in him? The T.O. in him?
Yeah. Michael Irvin is the better one. Is the better one, because T.O. would irrationally demand the ball. Like, even when he ain't open, he'll demand it. You know what I'm saying? But
T.O. was always
you
open.
A team leader, you get paid $20 million a year. You need to have that fire, bro.
Yeah, that's really what, like you said, that's really what it's all, to me, that's really what it's all about. $20 million. He's not worth $20 million because of everything that you just said. Now, if you got T.O. or Michael Irvin production, oh yeah, because they were worth $20 million. Those two receivers were worth $30 million. Because you knew they were going to show up and show out, especially under the bright lights. But okay, well, it didn't.
I get that Dak is not good at anticipating throws. That's his weakness. He's not good. He has to read the defense, and dudes got to get open, then he'll release the ball. Versus, some of the top tier quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers, he letting that thing go on your break. As soon as you turn around, it's there, because he's anticipating you being open. Dak doesn't do that well. I get all that, but that's when, as that number one wide receiver getting paid $20 million, you take it to your offensive coordinator and you take it to your quarterback and say, okay, this is not working based on your skills. What can we do to make this easier for you? What can I do to make this easier for you? We're going to do some quick slants, something. We got to change up because I need the ball.
Well, watch Philadelphia sign Amari Cooper.
It's possible. It's entirely possible that they will. But that's no threat, in terms of if he does. Because Jalen Hurts is not that guy anticipating throws either.
Well, but here's the funny thing about that, is that he already has a receiver that has the same exact skill set as Amari Cooper and Devontae Smith.
That's probably why they wouldn't spend the money and sign him. Amari Cooper wants to be paid the same as he's getting paid now. So whatever team is going to sign him is going to have to become close to that. He's just not going to sign him.
Well, I hope his agent tells him the reality of the situation, that that's not going to happen. I'm going to be honest with you, the only teams that I could see that will potentially do that is maybe a team like the Texans if Deshaun is coming back, or Jacksonville, because then you would give Trevor Lawrence a legitimate number one receiver. That type of situation, I could see that happening, but then you would be joining a reclamation project. And while Amari Cooper is not old, I don't know if this stage of his career he would want to go through that. So
yeah, I don't know. I just wish he was a different kind of dude, because he
he's a mild man and quiet dude.
Anybody that watches that guy play, he is one of the best route runners in the NFL. He can make them plays. He just ain't got that dog in him.
You hit the nail on the head when you did a comparison of the personality to that of Kawhi Leonard. But like you said, but Kawhi got that dog in him.
Yeah.
Kawhi got he a 2-time Finals MVP. Kawhi got that dog in him. Now let's shift to basketball, sir. I gave a rundown of course, the seeds in the East and the West. So how you feeling about this? So since the All-Star break, because I haven't talked to you since the All-Star break. So what is your prediction as far as the league thus far? Going forward.
It's still the same, and it's the same for this reason. Health. Mm-hmm. Well, physical and, well, in one guy's case, mental. But health in general, it's going to have its day. It's going to have its say in how this shakes out. There's a lot of bodies missing that could turn the tide one way or the other. with a number of teams. Certain teams haven't hit their stride yet because they haven't played together long enough because of trades. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell because even the top teams have slipped a little bit and shown signs of vulnerability.
Yep.
Now, whether they're vulnerable, whether they stay that way for a whole series, I don't know. But it's hard to tell. All I'll say is, in both conferences, 1 through 6 is extremely competitive. More so in the East than the West. But 1 through 6 is. I feel like any of them teams could potentially come out.
Because as far as the West goes, I'm starting to see it as it looks like Phoenix is going to end up going back. I mean, even though Chris Paul is hurt, they have such a comfortable lead, and Golden State is like Draymond Green is their most valuable player. Emphasis on valuable. And he's always been their most valuable player. This is why I don't give no real credence to that 2016 championship by the Cavaliers, because the league intervened and took the Warriors' most valuable player out. So momentum could shift. And Golden State really, you got Steph is there, Clay is back, Wiggins was an all-star, but Draymond Green, they need him. Now, all signs
can take Phoenix, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you know who can take Phoenix, though?
Who?
The Grizzlies.
I was going to say, not the Lakers.
The Grizzlies can take Phoenix.
I believe that.
It's a tough series for them, but they can beat them.
I believe that.
The positional, from a defensive standpoint, they have the positional guys, and to put pressure offensively, they have those guys.
They do. The only thing that would worry me, because like I said, Phoenix is so far in the head, and plus the fact, even though Chris Paul has been out and Phoenix has lost a couple of games, Golden State's lost too. Memphis has lost too. Memphis, how the hell do you lose to Houston?
No, man.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. They slipped. You see slipping, it's crazy.
Yeah, so it's just you wouldn't see, if you're the Grizzlies, you're not seeing Phoenix until the conference finals. And by that time, Chris Paul is fully back in stride from his injury. Like the conference finals that I want to see is Phoenix versus Golden State. But I would not be mad at all if the Grizzlies were in the conference finals, because Ja Morant is a crossbreed between Derrick Rose in his prime and Russell Westbrook in his prime. Dude is a fucking star.
But here's the trip part. The trip part is, do you really want to low-key see Utah along the way?
They're starting to get their sea legs back under them, because they went through a stretch where Utah was struggling a bit, but they're starting to get their sea legs back under them. Like I agree with you when you said the better competition is in the East, because I think how most people see it in the West is Phoenix, Golden State, far in ahead, and Memphis could be that wild card. In the East, like you said, you at least 6 teams deep. And I think right now, the team right now that I think may have the inside track to get into the finals, I think it's Philadelphia. Because
like I said, size would be a thing with us. I can't put all my eggs in my team back, because we've only been fully healthy 4 games of the season. Like, Patrick Williams went out once Grayson Allen, the other boy, did what he did and messed up his wrist. So that took out our starting power forward. And then after that, COVID hit. That's when everybody started getting the COVID, and they had to bring in the 10-day dude.
Yeah. You see that started to wane away, though, right?
Huh?
You see that started to kind of drift away?
Yeah. And Caruso got his hand jacked up, and then Lonzo's knee. So we haven't seen that full complement. I think that the philosophy is kill teams with depth. Trying to deal with the bigs, Embiid, Giannis. It's a non-starter. Yeah, it's a non-starter anyway. Maybe the philosophy is we'll just run an extremely deep team, so when they go to their bench, basically you got starters coming in off your bench, playing against their bench. I don't know. But I do know, and Philly lost, yesterday.
Did they?
Yeah, Philly lost, the Nets lost.
Well, the Nets have been losing.
Yeah, they've been losing, and there's questions whether or not they even gonna make it. It's funny because Kyrie was getting clowned, against Boston yesterday. But hey, bro, you get what your hand called for.
Well, I mean, that's predictable. But you know what? At least Kyrie is strong enough to deal with that. Ben Simmons is. You remember that 3-6 Mafia song? When I say weak ass, you say bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ben Simmons don't even want to play in a road game against Philadelphia.
Which begs the question: what you gonna do if you end up drawing them in the series?
In the playoffs, exactly. And right now, Philadelphia is 2. Let's say the Nets finish with the 7th seed. Wouldn't that be funny as shit?
It would be.
Wouldn't that be hilarious? Because what's Ben Simmons gonna do? He gonna pull a Kyrie, except the opposite. He's only gonna play home games instead of road games.
I don't know. I don't know. I just know, I'm a GM. Those are questions that I would have had answered before there was a trade. Like, I wouldn't have made the trade unless the dude was all in.
Yeah, because I was saying this earlier in the show. If there's anybody who appreciates mental health issues, it's me. I had issues as a younger adult, and I'm not sitting here saying cuckoo, but I understand the stress of mental health. But there's a difference between mental health issues and just being mentally weak. They're two different things. You're dealing with somebody who has obviously been coddled and is afraid, a person who's afraid to hear constructive criticism. That ain't mental health. That's just mentally being weak. That's just called put on your big boy pants and suck it up and stop acting like a little bitch.
I'll be honest. If you think in terms of NBA history, because I'm sure there have been other. Well, the most prominent that's been accused of being mentally weak in modern NBA history has been LeBron.
Right.
And that's not by me. That's by, contemporaries that played the game. Magic called him weak. Mentally, at points, that's why he can't be the GOAT, because he's shown that to be his Achilles heel.
But when you look at Ben Simmons, golly, LeBron,
it's a whole different, right? It's a whole different animal.
Yeah, he makes LeBron look like Jordan, like when it comes, or Kobe, when it comes to mental toughness. This dude won't even get on the court. People say LeBron's mentally weak because he won't take the game-winning shot, or he won't drive to get to the free throw line. But dude's available. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude is available on the court. Ben Simmons ain't even that.
Right.
And that's ridiculous. And yes,
I think shrinking in big moments is one thing. Not even being there to have the moment is a whole different
thing.
You're going to either you're going to swim or you're going to sink, but you're going to do it with your teammates. He was doing that shit sitting at home. He's sitting at home.
Getting a check.
I don't want to play with you no more.
Getting a check.
Yeah.
And I said this early on the show, I don't want to be that guy, back in my day guy, because one, I'm not even that damn old. But the era of athletes that I grew up on, particularly in the NBA, because the NBA was my first love when it comes to a team sport, you could always count on the stars playing. It had to be something seriously wrong for the stars of the team to not play.
Not even the stars.
Not even the stars, right?
Challenge anybody. Name me a guy in modern NBA history. When I say modern NBA history, that means in the 3-point shot era.
Right. So for the last 40 years.
That covers a lot of time. Name me anybody that literally, from a on-court perspective, we ain't talking about off-the-court stuff like what's his name? Roy Tarpley. And
Roy Tarpley, yeah, right.
Insinuating circumstance where it was drugs or something like that, off the court stuff.
Right.
That affected it on the court. I'm talking about strictly from a basketball standpoint that shrunk. That just literally, I'm taking my ball and go home because I don't want to play with y'all no more, and I can't take the pressure from the crowd and my teammates.
You can't find any. You can't find any, honestly, up until the last maybe 5 years. But even with that, the injuries too. Load management.
Why you can't find it is because Shaq said it. He said, and this would be true. We've heard the stories dudes will fight you in that locker room. Bruh, you better man up or what? You know what I mean? They will fight you, literally,
Yeah.
because you ain't going to keep pulling us down. So somebody would have stepped to him.
Bill,
We're not entirely sure that somebody didn't, but we ain't had no stories about nobody on the Sixers stepping to him, outside, off the court, in that locker room and saying, what you gonna man up, you gonna bitch up.
Exactly.
We haven't heard that.
And Bill Laimbeer said it best on the Pistons Bad Boys 30 for 30 documentary. It's about 10 years old, but he said it best, and I will never forget it. If you can walk, you can play. Period.
There you go. Now, for all the people that watched Last Dance and they looked at Michael Jordan and how he was treating Scott Burrell.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness.
What did Scott Burrell say, though, about that treatment?
Oh, he needed it.
There you go. It made him a tougher person.
It made it a tougher player.
That's it. So these dudes today, they don't really...
Unfortunately, this is a bitch-ass society. I'm just keeping it real. It's a bitch-made society. And we wonder, and not even trying to be funny, we wonder why when crime happens, it happens at such a massive, dramatic rate now than back then, because people almost feel like they're bottled up because it's such like this soft ass society. They actually think it's better. It's not. It's worse. Now, when I say, I'm not talking about racist. Like, we don't need the racist stuff. But as far as coddling people, it has gotten ridiculous. And these
you know what's funny? I just thought of another name. Not to them. We just talked about the dude last call, Markelle Fultz. He had the psychological thing with his shooting, but where is he? He's still in the NBA. He's still on the team. He's hurt.
No, he just came back. He just came back last week.
But he's there. You know what I'm saying? But that was the thing about him, that whatever was in his head preventing him from shooting, but he at least tried.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, I felt so bad when Markelle Fultz got hurt because he had actually turned the corner. He was balling his ass off. He was playing when they were in the bubble, and he was giving it to people. And then he got hurt, but now he just came back last week. And now
organizationally, that doesn't speak well for the Sixers.
No,
you had two guys with mental health, and you can't seem to work them through it.
Well, for starters, they shouldn't have drafted Markelle Fultz. They should have drafted Jason Tatum. But that's a whole nother story.
Hey, let me ask you a question about about Joel Embiid then. So the relationship or lack thereof with him prior to all of the blow up, why wouldn't Embiid, who wants to be the team leader now, is the man and the head of everything there, why wouldn't you get in the gym with this dude and say, look, bruh, I ain't the best shooter. I'm 7 foot. That ain't my forte, but I can shoot. We just gonna sit in here, twice a week in this gym for a couple hours and just work on our shots.
But we don't know that didn't happen. We don't know that.
We don't know that. You're right. We don't know that. But I think that everything else Embiid to put out there, especially since he like to be on social media, he probably would have said that.
Well, I think Embiid has that throwback mentality. Nigga, are you serious? Are you gonna man up or you gonna bitch up?
You got $200 million. I'm sure a shooting coach is available.
Do you think? You know how many? It was 3 straight off seasons. ESPN and FS1 were showing clips of Ben Simmons shooting threes during practice in the gym.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, okay. So your issue with your Bulls, of course, is your size. I will say this though. I put this dunk on Facebook Live. Derek Jones put his bull sacks in Giannis' mouth.
That's what he does well. Like that's the reason, man. That's the main reason why he's on the team. He's playing hurt because he had that messed up finger, but he plays hard. You know what I mean? But he's a small guy, and Billy Donovan will ask him. He was guarding Giannis for stretches. How Billy Donovan? It makes no sense, but. Maybe it's that kill him with death. But that's Patrick Williams' spot. So all these by committee, Javonte Green and Derrick Jones. But Derrick Jones always had hops. Even in his Miami.
Oh, I know. He got gift wrapped the dunk contest a couple years ago, remember?
Right. Yeah. So he going to do that. If you put it anywhere near that rim, alley-oop, whatever, he got it.
But that shit was spectacular against Giannis.
At the end of the day, why do we lose to the Bucks? Offensive rebounds. Couldn't get a rebound.
Y'all didn't lose that game. Y'all beat him that game.
We just lost to them.
Oh, no, I know. Last night, yes. I do know that.
Yeah, we couldn't get a rebound. We were right there, couldn't get a rebound. Second chance points, Bucks. I mean, come on, man. At some point, size is a thing. You gotta, I understand the depth thing, and maybe that will be our thing. Like I said, maybe once everybody's healthy, maybe we'll just run teams into submission like we were doing before. But I just feel like in a playoff atmosphere where things going to slow down, you're not going to be able to do the run into submission.
Well, what y'all drop?
And Tony, it's not going to work for Donovan.
Well, y'all dropping, a couple of games within the last 2 weeks. Kind of.
They are too. That's the good thing. The top thing, we're losing, but they're losing.
No, I know, but I'm saying as far as DeRozan for MVP, because I was low key rooting for him to win the MVP. And I know with them losing games is not going to help, especially now with Philly's rise.
Because that's been a problem too. Ever since DeRozan for MVP lobbied, now all of a sudden he getting them blinders, tunnel vision. 3 man on him, he gonna take the shot regardless instead of hitting open man. Same thing, Zach LaVine. You got the whole 24-second clock. You gonna dribble 15 of it. With crossovers and doing nothing, literally, to take a step back 3 with 5 seconds left. It makes no sense. You keep the ball moving. But, again, I think that changes a little bit once the lineup the whole starting lineup is back, it changes things a little bit. Because if Caruso and Alonzo, they're not the best when it comes to that, but they do find the open man. They believe in passing the ball and they believe in moving rather than just going a corner and stand there and stand back and watch. It's too much of that.
Absolutely. Well, it's still a lot to be unfolded. We have at least about a good month left of regular season, so we'll see where everything is going to end up. But, sir, I do want to get your intake on everything that is going on in the Middle East. You know what? I post.
It's not going on in the Middle East.
I mean Ukraine. That's what I mean.
Okay.
I posted on Facebook today. Can we have peace on Earth so the damn gas prices could come down?
Hey, you're right about that. I'm going to say this. I'm going to preface what I'm about to say by saying this. They're going to use Brittany Griner.
Yeah, what happened? What was the exact thing that happened with her?
It was dumb. It was dumb on her. Okay. Do you remember the whole Benghazi thing with Hillary Clinton?
Yeah.
Now, the Republicans made that we left Americans there to die. No, they told them to leave. That ambassador, I have a security detail. I don't need to leave. Sir, you need to leave. We got credible information that something's about to go down. You need to leave. They decided to stay. America, they said what they typically will say. We gave you warnings. If you choose to stay, we cannot come back in there and get you because it would cause us to be in direct conflict and engage with people. Firepower. To engage with people to get you out. And we're not looking to do that, so you need to leave. They chose to stay. People died. In this particular case, they've been saying for the longest, any Americans that are there in Russia, Ukraine, you need to go ahead and leave. Biden said it. I've heard him say it at least 10 times on national TV. I advise all Americans, leave. I understand you playing basketball over there, but what's going on in the world, baby? What's going on in the world, Brittany Griner? So you wait until the last minute and decide to go ahead and leave Russia, where the Russia, they don't even want Russians talking to people outside of Russia. They're cutting off communications, cutting off Russian Facebook because they don't want them to tell the truth of what's going on, over there. So Brittany Griner, you're gonna try to leave, but you're gonna try to leave, and you got cannabis on you as well. Yeah, it was in vape form, but why? What is the intelligence level of some people? Why would you even try to take that through an airport? You got money. You don't have NBA money, but you got money, Brittany. You can buy that shit once you get back in America.
Yeah.
Why would you give them an excuse to detain you? So now you're sitting there, no one has heard from you, and you got Russia almost in a direct conflict, but not quite, with the United States. It's Ukraine, but it's United States by proxy, too. NATO, being part of NATO. And so at some point, they may try to use you as a bargaining chip, but they're gonna hold her until this conflict is over. So she's gonna be there for a minute in jail. All because she tried to take some candle. All because she didn't leave when they were first advised to leave.
Now, my question is, why isn't she in the WNBA?
They pay more money.
Oh, no, but you know what? I think she is in the WNBA, but she plays during the offseason. She still plays overseas.
And they pay more money.
Yeah.
So there's that. Now, in terms of the Ukraine, I'm old enough to remember when one Barack Obama, near the end of his presidency, maybe a year, he had a year left. Ukraine was lobbying to become part of NATO. Obama said openly, America's okay with that. We'd love to have Ukraine as part of NATO. Who fought him tooth and nail? The Republicans. Well, what is Ukraine bringing to the table? Why should we defend an ally that historically hasn't defended us? Blah, 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 blah. So Ukraine did not become part of NATO. Obama left office. We know who took office. The orange-faced idiot. Useful idiot. What's the first thing he did? Well, every sanction that Obama put in place against Russia, he took it away. He lifted it, got rid of all of them. That emboldened Russia because he was Putin's puppet. Later on in his same presidency, because he was trying to dig up dirt on Joe Biden, what did he do then? He blackmailed Ukraine, or attempted to blackmail Ukraine. The weapons, all the supplies, everything that America was giving the Ukraine to stock up, to defend themselves in case of this kind of thing, he cut that off. Unless you give me dirt on Joe Biden. Remember that whole thing? That's what he got impeached for.
Yeah.
Unless you give me dirt on Joe Biden, America's not gonna give you anything. So this is why we are where we are today. Putin was hoping that Trump would win again. He was actually actively helping him to win again. But he already had a plan in place. And there's talk out there that Trump's ultimate plan was going to pull America out of NATO because this is what all this in Ukraine is about. This is what Putin is threatening. If America installs the no-fly zone, he's gonna take that as an act of war and blah, blah, blah. He doesn't want Ukraine to join NATO. My issue with America at this point, though, forget the Trump effect and all that. My issue, Joe Biden, quite simply, what's your long-term plan? Because if they take Ukraine, Bulgaria, Poland, all these countries are surrounding Ukraine, and they too were part of the USSR, Soviet Union, at one point. And Vladimir Putin would love to have them back in the fold, and he'd have to do the same thing with Ukraine. The problem is those countries are NATO. So what are you going to do if he does attack Poland? They're part of NATO. You're under treaty. You have to act. So what are you going to do? I believe they should have been brought forces into NATO, into Ukraine, and not let him take NATO. Let him threaten the nuclear stuff. So what? We got nukes, you got nukes, and we'll all die.
Okay.
Because at some point, what are you going to do? When you have the threat of mutual assured destruction, and everybody got nuclear missiles, that basically means Russia can attack America, and you're not going to respond because you're afraid that somebody's going to press a button and wipe out all life. So you can't take that threat seriously because it's like, okay, if you press that button, you can threaten me with it, but if you press that button, guess what? It won't be no Russia for you to rule either.
Right.
It won't be nothing for nobody to rule, to lead. So I'm going to say you bluffing. I'm going to say you're bluffing and call your bluff. That's the only way you can respond, because other than that, you're just going to keep giving. He's just going to keep going because he feels like you're afraid. They're afraid. I'm going to press the button, so I'm just going to keep taking countries. Russia's a poor country. They couldn't, if you confronted them with NATO troops and just put them in place in Ukraine right now, in places that are not occupied, and put a block basically on the other half, the western half of Ukraine, they're not going to attack those American soldiers. They're not. They'd be overwhelmed. They're not going to do it. They'd be at war with every country in the world that was part of NATO. They're not going to do that.
Well, I just would like to see there be some damn world peace because damn gas has gone up a damn $1 in the last week.
Yeah, the gas is the least of the problems.
I know it is.
And for real, America, we don't get gas from Russia. We don't. That's not why the gas prices have went up. The gas prices went up because you know who is in bed with Russia?
Who?
There were 5 countries that abstained from this latest condemnation. The World Council did a little thing, and there were 5 countries that abstained from voting on this, and one was China. Another one was Syria. Yeah, see, now we're talking the Middle Eastern people. And the Middle Eastern people, where do we get our gas from? They said, by abstaining, they said, we're not going to get involved one way or the other. We're not going to take an opinion that Putin is committing war crimes or whatever. We're just going to stay out of it. But they stay in it they're in it by proxy by saying, okay, America is in NATO, and they're sending weapons, sending supplies, then that includes fuel to Ukraine to defend itself. Well, Russia is our friend. So what we're going to do is hold back that fuel so that America has less fuel to be able to send to Ukraine, which is why our gas prices are, because we're tapping into actually our gas now. Instead of buying the foreign gas, we're using American. That's why it costs more.
Well, I tell you, that's why the hell I don't go nowhere. It's too damn expensive. I swear. We all need. I'm gonna tell you something. You know what the world needs to do right now? I'm being so serious. The world needs to sit back and smoke a blunt. They really do.
Did you see it was last week? Did you see the well, actually, even in the State of the Union, he said it. But Joe Biden, with his press conference, where he said that they were releasing 250 million barrels of crude oil.
I did see that.
That's American. That's American surplus. That's literally what it's just the supply that we stocked up on, and yada yada yada. And now it's because it is ours, and it's not that everlasting funnel of oil pipeline coming from the Middle East. We got to be a little bit more judicious with that, which is why the price is going up.
Yeah, man. That's crazy.
Well, we got to do it.
Yeah, I understand. I understand.
But we wouldn't have to do it, and it's crazy to me. Like the Fox News people, they're taking the side of Putin. But look at your man, the dude that you just still want to support, who's going to jail. Who is going to jail? Because make no mistake, Trump is, at the end of the day, I said that he wouldn't go to jail, that he would get convicted, but he wouldn't go to jail. But I'm thinking, that dude is going to end up going to jail. Unless something dramatic happened and he plead to something and give up a bunch of stuff, he's going to end up in jail.
And that's your guy, right?
There's no way two ways about it.
That's your guy, right?
Who?
Orange face idiot.
I'm not even gonna say, because the thoughts that I've had in terms of that dude.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. Nuh-uh. Don't do it. No, leave it alone. Yeah, that's the safest space for those thoughts is inside your own head. That's it.
I'm gonna tell you something. I will say this much, and you can leave it in here, or you can edit it out. But I'm gonna say it.
No, I ain't gonna edit it out.
Late night when you're on Xbox, so you find it's some real toxic fucking people in the gaming community.
I believe it.
and they're a part of their parents, because they be young kids. Like, just turned 20,
Mm-hmm.
And they're a byproduct of their parents, because the talking points are some shit that sounds like they come from their oath keeper parent or something. But this kid got into it with, because he determined that I was black based on my voice. We were all doing activity. I was the only black guy, and he determined that he was making little comments back and forth and this, that, and the other. But I didn't say anything. And finally I chimed in and I said something in general in the party. And they say, oh, I do, because I could tell by your voice. You could tell I was black, huh? So all this time you obeyed me. And it just kept, going. And then we got into the whole Trump thing. And how do you know I support Trump? I said, because literally everything you said is exactly what these trash asses that were going to his rallies would believe. You know what I mean? We live in a reality-based society. Everything you said was some made-up Trump shit.
Oh, Lord.
But
no, don't engage with a Rittenhouse Part 2 now. Leave that motherfucker alone.
Who?
The boy who you said was talking to you.
I don't care wherever he lives, if he decides he want to go get some guns and shoot some people, that's on him. Like, I ain't walking on eggshells for these people.
I know that's right, though.
I said what I said in terms of him, and I said, if I had my way, I'll leave the one out. Because there's a couple things in terms of Trump that go through my head. I was like, I'll leave the one out. But the other one, for real, I'm just curious. He said, what are you curious about? I said, I would like to get Donald Trump and Ivanka in a room, tie his ass to a chair with his eyelids taped open, and fuck the dog shit out of Ivanka, and I'm not pulling out. What they turned on. I couldn't. I'm not sure which one it would be.
What?
That you support. We're calling his own daughter a hot piece of ass. If she was my daughter, I'd probably be dating her. We heard all that. Everybody heard that.
Yeah.
So I just want to know. It ain't because I think Ivanka's attractive either.
That's crazy.
That would accomplish a couple goals. One, it would satisfy my curiosity about Trump, but also it would break the hearts and minds of some of these white supremacists. Anytime there's somebody like that, and this is what I stress about that, there's a segment of white women that the white guys are racist. They don't mind. They don't care. Go get with a black dude, please. Nobody wants you anyway. And it's always been that way. But then there's the other ones that it just tears at them when they find out that this chick may be dealing with somebody other than a white guy. They can't stand it. We can't have anything. Everything. And that's how they think.
Yeah.
It's true. That literally is how they think. Their females can go from hot to really not, depending on her personal life choices. Pretty much. Do you remember Anna Nicole Smith?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, she was hot.
Yeah.
With a lot of crowds. She was hot. The white boys, even though she was a BBW, sort of, they loved her until they found out she was boning her black bodyguard.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Naked Gun 33 and the third. Oh, yeah.
Then it was a wrap. Then she was trash, and she was, she's scum. And,
yeah. Get that black D in them. That changed your life. But look,
I tell them, man, look, just watch Mandingo. You'll understand. It's been going on forever. Low-key. Mandingo. With Ken Norton?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Ken Norton Sr. Yeah. Yeah, but all right, well, brother, look, I'm gonna get on out of here, and I gotta run to the store to get. I thought I had more meatballs. I'm fixing my kids meatballs for dinner, but I need to get another bag to have enough. But bro, 2 weeks was too much time. But you know what? NBA playoffs NBA season is heating up, so we gonna definitely keep in touch. Plus, you know how we do. We spit that knowledge. Especially you.
Boy, wasn't that 40 though?
Oh, the dude from Georgia?
Yes.
Oh my God. Man, he may have made himself a damn lottery pick. Because they said his 40 time is faster than Patrick Mahomes. And the dude's like 340 pounds.
Yeah. Now the only question, fine, you're fast as hell, but are you strong? You're 340 pounds. You ain't gonna outspeed everybody because they're gonna put you in the middle of that line. They're not gonna put you on the end.
Oh yeah. Oh, but did you hear? It was breaking news as I was doing the show before I called you that Calvin Ridley has been suspended for all of next season for betting on NFL games.
No, I did not see that.
Yep. Go on ESPN.com.
Wow.
Yep.
What? Okay. Yeah, I got to read more on that because he's another one of them curious cases. You know, you off in the head, but you ain't that off because you betting on NFL.
And well, see, the thing about it is this is where I'm kind of conflicted with it. is that it happened in November of 2021. Well, he had already been placed on the non-football illness list. So it's not like he was betting on games that he was playing in. But nonetheless, he's suspended for a minimum of all of next season.
Yeah, well, you know what? Now that y'all read up on it, but since you said that, yeah, no, come on, NFL. If he's not playing, how can he influence the game? So it's not the same. It's, yeah, okay, we understand. He's part of the organization, so he's not supposed to bet on it. But if he's not involved with it or any level, what's the harm?
Right, and see, when I first saw the story, I was like, oh shit, was he betting on games that he was playing in? But when I read, because they only had a little bit of the article because it was breaking news. But when I read and saw that it was in November and he had already mentally, not trying to be funny, checked himself out for the season, I'm like, well, is that really messing? Unless he's calling a couple of players saying, hey, don't do this, don't do that. I don't know. I'm sure more details will come out.
It's probably in them contracts, though. It's probably in that it's probably part of the players thing. You're not. That's probably why the stiff penalty, because it's a discussed topic. Like, you don't gamble. It's in the bylaws. You don't gamble on the sport. And if that's in fact the case, then that's a direct violation. So that's why the stiff penalty. I'm gonna look that part of. If that's the case, then you can't argue with it.
Well, this is the dude that they got rid of Julio for.
The case, then Mr. Calvin Ridley, bruh, by proxy, you ain't got no chick, you ain't got nobody that can place them bets for you. Nobody,
right.
Nobody can place them bets for you. Just like Michael Vick with the dog, bruh. You can't like a friend. It's in the house,
right?
In their name, you ain't got nothing to do with it on paper at all.
Right. And
so even if they find out and somebody started talking, look, my lawyer, my name isn't on any of it. I don't own anything. I just know the people. I didn't even know that was going on. You can deny everything.
Yep. And this is the dude that they got rid of Julio Jones for, because he was supposed to be the heir apparent. Okay.
And I'll submit that there's no investigation to have. If you just have somebody bet for you by proxy, it's not going to draw red flags. It might be somebody you hang out with, but no one's going to think to investigate that some chick that you may be dealing with low-key is placing bets for you. Nobody's going to think that. And even if they did think it, how do you prove it?
Exactly.
I'm sitting at home, bro. She was betting on games while I was sitting at home. She liked to gamble. What can I say?
Exactly. Well, yeah, definitely that story is going to come out more as the week goes along, but I'm going to get at you, brother.
All right, man.
Later.
I
didn't have my man Tony on for a couple of weeks, but we comes with that real knowledge. He comes, especially like he was getting deep on me with the stuff as far as what's going on in the Ukraine. And I'm gonna be honest with you. This is what the world needs to do. The world again needs to sit there and smoke a big fat ass blunt because we just need peace. Everybody is no promethazines, nothing acid, no. The world needs to the next whatever the meeting is where all the world leaders get together. Each of them not having already rolled joint, because I wouldn't trust that, but they all need to sit down and roll up and smoke and work this shit out, man, because people are dying over dumb stuff, bro. Dumb stuff. I'm serious, man. I mean, aside from the gas prices and all of the dumb shit, because I was being serious, but I was also being a goofball. Like, people are out here dying, for what? Because certain things don't fit other people's agenda, and I think that is messed up, because you're talking about just a waste of life. Like, the world really needs to chill out. I mean, since 2020. Since the beginning of 2020, like, the world has just been wilding, and I think people just need to chill the F out, honestly. And with that being said, man, what a buzzer. Oh my goodness. Well, it has been another very eventful episode of Sports Plus Life, and Again, very good weather day. Like I'm telling you, it's like we're getting a taste of spring, and spring is a week away. But I mean, in all honesty, you know, we're talking about everything about what's going on with the world. I really, legitly want everybody to be safe out there. I want everybody to be happy. Like honestly, mankind has been on some bullshit for over 2 years now, it's just crazy, you know. And when I see these things happening, I'm like, yo, if you sit there and say that you're thinking about the future, which is actually the children, by doing these type of acts, then I'm sorry, you're lying to yourself and you're lying to everybody else as well. But anyway, I don't want to get too deep because, you know, I like to keep it fun and whatnot. But please hit that subscription button and become part of the Sports Plus Life family. It's your boy, Brandon Brevon Towns. Yo, Shamrock the Block is March 12th. It is Saturday. We haven't had it since 2019 due to COVID. Shamrock the Block is going on Saturday downtown near the Boulevard, near the Diamond, near the stadium, yo. That joint is going to be fun. It's going to be litty. I'm going to be out there. I'm going to make sure I got my little ones out there. And also, well, definitely I'm going to go out there and holler at my nephew for his birthday as well. So let's just have some fun. Let's just be peaceful. Let's try to ignore all these dumbass gas prices and let's carpool if we need to. But again, it's your boy, Brandon Brevon Towns. I'm out this bitch. Peace. Love you guys.